This is Splatalot, a show that felt like Wipeout had a baby with Game of Thrones, and then let kids star in it. But after just 2 seasons, it suddenly vanished. Today we're diving into the rise and fall of Splatalot, how it became so popular, why it didn't last, and what's left of the castle today. In the early 2000s, one thing was clear. People loved watching strangers go through insane obstacle courses. Shows like Wipeout and Takeshi's Castle proved to be very successful, with millions of viewers tuning in weekly to watch contestants trip, crash, and fall their way across comically big obstacles. But what if kids could experience this fun for themselves? In came Canadian company Marble Media, who came up with the idea of Splatalot, a game show which would be unlike any other kids game show before. The concept was simple. 12 kids called attackers would try to break into a castle by completing different obstacle courses, all while being attacked by the defenders, basically adults in over-the-top costumes. The goal? Try to be the last kid standing to be crowned king or queen of Splatalot. The game show was split into 3 different rounds. Here's an aerial view of where the sets for the 3 rounds were located. The first round was called the Moat and required all 12 contestants to cross an obstacle course filled with bouncing axes, slippery steps, and of course the iconic rolling mace. The top 6 fastest contestants would advance to the second round, which was sometimes called the Stockade and other times the Dungeon. Here, the remaining kids would race each other to complete a task first, like building a ladder or capturing a flag. The fastest 4 kids would move on to the final round called Capture the Crown, where they would race each other until one of them successfully grabbed the Splatalot crown and was knighted as the king or queen of Splatalot. Splatalot reached its peak in popularity between 2011 and 2013. While there aren't any specific viewership numbers out there for the TV show, we do know that the game show was broadcast to over 100 different countries at its peak, showing on YTV in Canada, CBBC in the UK, and ABC3 in Australia. Re-uploads of the show on YouTube have over 15 million views, proving that the show was indeed quite popular with kids. For a quick fun fact, the show had different hosts depending on where it was broadcast. Jason Agnew and Matt Chin were the main hosts, shown in most countries.
If you're ever offered blue pizza, don't take it. I don't care if it's free.
But Australia and the UK had different hosts.
Okay, look, it's time for your favourite bit of the show.
Oh, okay, bye.
I think the real appeal of Splatalot came down to 3 things: physical comedy, the fun medieval theming, and its similarities to Wipeout. As a kid, I'd binge watch Wipeout clips on YouTube for hours. To me, there was nothing funnier than watching people get launched by those big red balls. I always dreamed of being on the show, but let's be real, you were never going to see a 12-year-old competing on Wipeout. So when Splatalot came along, it felt like a dream. Finally, a show just like Wipeout, but for kids. It was chaotic, it was hilarious, and for the first time, it felt like something I could actually be on, and that made it all the more exciting to watch. The obstacle course didn't seem to be much tamer for the kid contestants either, with epic fails, or as the show called them, splats, often taking place. Here's what Canadian host of the show, Matt Chin, had to say about the craziest injury that happened on set.
So what was the worst injury on Splatalot? Get that question all the time. Now there were a lot of great splats, but which one hurt the most? Well, let's bring back the splat of the day. For this one, we go back to the 3rd round where Daniel drops in and breaks his leg. Snap, crackle, pop. Let's see if we can hear the moment it breaks. Yeah, he's taking a timeout. A timeout to go to the hospital.
I can't talk about Splatalot without also mentioning the crazy medieval theming they had. The theming really did elevate the show beyond just a simple obstacle course, and I'd say it's one of the best themed obstacle course shows out there. Dare I say better than Wipeout and Takeshi's Castle. The set cost a few $1 million to construct, and it definitely showed. The use of adult actors called defenders really helped with the medieval world building too. In the show, they would act as the guardians of the castle, and it created this kid versus adult mentality, which I think kept younger viewers really invested. There were 12 defenders in total, and they would work in groups of 3 to try and knock off the kids on the obstacle courses. Some notable defenders included Kookaburra, a green-haired Australian who loved to dance and beatbox.
Cook's my name and Splat's my game.
Crocnus, a brave reptilian warrior who repped a scaly attire and skull-head staff. Scab, a big goof who was known to be the most loud and aggressive defender.
Hey Lizzie, are you waterproof, huh? I'm attacker-proof!
And Tinker, a hard-working inventor who often used his crazy gadgets to surprise unexpected attackers. But for a show that had all the right ingredients for success, why did it end after just 2 seasons? After the end of Season 2's production in 2012, Splatalot's unattended set in Ontario, Canada, started to attract the unwanted attention of trespassers. This was fueled by YouTubers who would sneak onto the property and film themselves doing it, accumulating thousands of views per video. This caused safety concerns, and the local town mayor where the set was located requested around-the-clock security to keep a watch on the property. After 7 years of sitting abandoned, Marble Media announced plans that the castle would receive some repairs and would come back for a revival season in 2018. But plans fell through. This is what Matt Chin had to say about the show's cancellation.
So why was Splatalot cancelled? Story time. For those of you that don't know, I hosted Splatalot in the US and Canada and Spain.
Mais pourquoi aurais-je ce doctorat en splashologie?
Yeah, weird for me too. But anyway, remember this guy?
I'm gonna eat your kid.
He actually ate a kid on set. So they had to cancel the show. I'm just kidding, he didn't actually eat a kid. He just bit him. Made him bleed a bit. The real reason the show was canceled because the lease ran out on the castle and then they had to abandon it so kids could break in and put it on YouTube.
And by 2019, it was officially announced that the Splatalot set was getting demolished, but not in any ordinary way. The producers of Splatalot had the genius idea of turning the demolition of the Splatalot set into a show called Smash-A-Lot. Each episode, they'd demolish a portion of the castle, with Jason Agnew and Defender Gildar hosting the show. There'd be guest appearances from former contestants, and even YouTubers who'd gained popularity exploring the castle after hours. This show was total mayhem, and the things they caught on camera were actually quite spectacular. Of course, there's only so much you can demolish a set until it's gone. So after 12 action-packed episodes, the set was finally demolished, and the end of an era had finally come. Splatalot played a truly special role in many 2000s kids' childhoods, and it will be remembered for a long time to come. Even though it only lasted 2 seasons, and the castle is now reduced to rubble, the legacy of Splatalot lives on, in the laughs, in the nostalgia, and in every kid who once dreamed of becoming the king or queen of the castle.